Hello there everyone. If you would like to learn how to make videos but you're not sure where to start or you think it's too daunting, you can book a meeting with me on my website where I will take you through the whole process of script writing, recording, and editing. Without further ado, let's get on into the video. If you're coming from one of the older Total War games, especially Medieval 2, you might be disappointed by cavalry units in Shogun 2. Not only are they distressingly fragile, but their melee stats aren't very impressive overall. But this shouldn't stop them from being part of a winning strategy. They are the fastest units on the field, allowing them to quickly be moved between trouble points or pick targets opportunistically. They can be described as the glass cannons of the game, capable of scoring hundreds of kills, but withering away if you don't attend to them or give them a bad fight. Before we go into the individual units, let's cover the abilities and formations available to all cavalry. Like infantry, cavalry can use loose formation, making them less vulnerable to missiles. Wedge formation is useful for piercing thin infantry lines, and they can be ordered to dismount, transforming the cavalry unit into its infantry counterpart, meaning that, for example, if you dismount a unit of spear cavalry, they'll behave like a unit of spear infantry, and so on. A cavalry unit has two separate stamina values, one for the horses and another for the riders. If the horses are exhausted, dismounting the men will give you a fresh unit of infantry. Light cavalry are sort of like the Ashigaru of cavalry units. Cheap and easily replaceable, they're still a valuable addition to your army. Spear cavalry are the fastest units in the game, making light cavalry great for probing the enemy and baiting out their units. They have poor melee attack, defense, and armor, and being a small unit, they'll evaporate if used recklessly. In combat, they rely on their charge and strong bonus against cavalry, making them good for engaging other cavalry and targeting wavering infantry units. If you're ambitious and spot the opportunity, you can send one of these units to strike at the enemy general. Light cavalry need to use their charge to make any difference on the battlefield. Don't let them sit in the melee, especially against spear infantry, and keep them clear of missiles. There are only a few men in the unit and horses are large targets. Yari Cavalry are basically a stronger light cavalry. With better ratings in melee, a larger unit size, and better armor. It's still easy to have them go poof though. Use them to bait enemy units or charge the flanks or rear of infantry units. Don't let them sit in a melee. While they do have a good anti-cavalry skill, you should generally avoid pitting them in a fight against Katana Cavalry. While the Yari Cavalry will do a good amount of damage on the charge, Katana Cavalry have far better melee stats, leaving your Yari Cavalry with heavy losses. Great Guard Cavalry are the pinnacle of the Spear Cavalry line. Expensive and limited in how many you can recruit, they have all the strengths of Yari Cavalry and more. They inspire nearby units, the same way generals do, and they have the Second Wind ability, which restores the unit's stamina and the stamina of 3 nearby units. Useful considering how much they have to run around the field. Like Yari and Light Cavalry, they should pick soft targets on the battlefield. This unit is still surprisingly easy to lose. Katana Cavalry are quite the opposite of Spear Cavalry. They are slower and do less damage on the charge, but come with far better ratings in melee and armor, allowing them to hold a bit better in a prolonged fight. The unit is still small and expensive, so you shouldn't be reckless with it. Katana Cavalry are great at dealing with other cavalry units, but only if the enemy cavalry fail to countercharge. They are also devastating when used in conjunction with Spear Cavalry. The Katana Cavalry can charge the enemy unit head-on, pinning it down so that it can be struck in the rear by another cavalry charge. Ashigaru will often route to this and Samurai will take quite a heavy beating. Bow Cavalry are the oddballs here. They trade charge bonus and melee stats for the ability to harass units from a distance. They have the same range as bow infantry and good accuracy. The hit and run fighting style makes them excellent for luring away enemy units and isolating them, after which your other cavalry or melee infantry can demolish the unit. Despite the mediocrity in close combat, bow cavalry can be used to strike at units with flimsy morale, routing them before your bow cavalry starts suffering losses. Like other ranged units, bow cavalry have skirmish mode, which will allow them to maintain a set distance from enemy units. They can also use the swooping crane formation, which causes them to gallop in a circle while maintaining a steady rate of fire. You should avoid pitting the unit in a missile duel with enemy bow infantry. Horses are large targets and the unit is quite small. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to check out my live content, I stream 4 days a week on Twitch, the link to which will be in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.